Hello my friends and welcome back. Happy Monday and happy beginning of a new week for you. Russians dropped a big bomb. Where? Not in Ukraine, but in Belgorod. Russian Belgorod, near Ukraine. The pilots of the plane probably mistook it for a Ukrainian city because these pilots sometimes also come from other areas of Russia. Sometimes these fighter bombers or Su-34s are stationed in airfields far away from Ukraine, so they might not understand if they're flying over Russia or over Ukraine or close to whichever country they are. So in this specific way, the bomb was dropped on Belgorod, near a substation, trying to knock it out. I guess the pilot saw substation, it's very close to where Ukraine is supposed to be. Let's release the bomb and hope it lands in the right country. Newsflash, it didn't. It landed in Belgorod in Russia and it injured one of the trucks actually. Here is the video. The creator is being wired off by the police. And there's a electrical substation very near to it. Usually you call friendly fire blue on blue, but in the Russian case I would call it red on red. By the way, what's the funniest part of this is that Belgorod lost power, the city center lost power because of it. So let's see the silver lining of this attack. I guess you get darkness for free. Free darkness for Russians. Congratulations. Before the explosion, the city's missile alert was not activated and there were no warnings about UAV flight. You know why? Because there was no missiles and no UAVs. It was a Russian bomb. If you're in Russia and you're ever asking, what has the government done for me? Well, now Putin has delivered you a personal gift. Free darkness by a bomb made in Russia. Made in Russia, made for the Russians. Free darkness. According to the Belgorod residents living in the area where the bomb fell, they heard the roar of an airplane flying towards the border before the explosion. The way they describe it, it's perfect. Yeah, no UAVs, no missiles. It was a Russian plane, it was a Russian bomb, it was a Russian city. No more to it. In this next video, hey, I promise you that's gonna make your Monday like the previous story. Here we have a Russian man trying to get away from justice. And by justice I mean Ukrainian FPV drone. A man in somebody's yard occupying some Ukrainian house and yard. It shouldn't be there. The man shouldn't be there. So he decides to jump into the well. One FPV just exploded, the man dives into the well, and these wells are deep, by the way. I don't know what happened to him, he didn't wear a GoPro. But the Ukrainian drones and the justice does not let itself to be bothered. 2 Ukrainian drones dive into the well after the man, delivering the delayed justice. Even deep into the well, the Russians cannot avoid the fate of becoming manure for the Ukrainian soil. Now I love how Madyar Birds, the Twitter user or ex-user 414th Madyar Birds says, now we've got a broth instead of a grill. Well said. That's true. Unfortunately, the residents of this household in the future, when this land is liberated, cannot use this specific well because it's poisoned by what remains of that Russia. In this video, my friends, we have a Russian filming a new patch of Armata tanks. Yes, the new T-14 Armata. They finally arrived on the front, except they're not tanks and they're donkeys. I don't know if you had an idea where this was going, but yeah, I kid you not, 2 donkeys arrived on the front. They have been donated by the Russian volunteers, by the way, to the soldiers. Look at them donkeys, so sad. I would be sad also, because you know who's at the front sometimes, where you're near those Rosgvardia units. Under those Rosgvardia units is also Ahmad Sila, the Kadyrovite unit. They are really friendly with the donkeys, and I think one of the guys filming here, we don't know, I mean according to the accent, but he is way too happy. I don't know what he plans to do with that donkey later when the lights are, when it's dark. I guess he's gonna lit some candles and do a little massage and open up to the donkey. I don't know, man. I don't know, but he's way too happy about those two donkeys. Listen to him. The donkey doesn't want to go outside. I wouldn't want to go outside if I hear the voice of that man. I don't know what he's gonna do to me later. The donkey hears it, and he hears what's about to happen in the darkness of night. Please leave the donkey alone. Oh, has it already started? Don't film it. It takes position. I don't like what I'm seeing in this video, my friends. Oh, this is bad. Leave the poor animal alone. No, uses his legs. Please stop it. Okay, I'm not gonna show you more, but yeah, you can leave it up to the Russians and the Kadyrovites to handle the donkeys all the wrong ways. Why do they get the donkeys anyway? Well, one of the reasons I just mentioned to you, because they want to have some good time at night, but then the other reason is that they're Bukhanka vans. These ones, the loaf trucks, the Scooby-Doo vans, whatever you want to call them, they do get stuck in the mud a lot. So they have to push them out. I mean, it is mud season right now. Ground is not frozen, meaning everything will sink. Donkeys will not sink. They will sink into depression after what you do to them if you're a Kadyrovite, but they will not sink into the mud, and this is why they like them donkeys. My friends, I have something awesome to show you. I want to show you where I'm from, and for this, I'm using my heritage. For a limited time, by the way, using my code ART25, you will get an insane bundle offer with their DNA kit. Don't miss out on this. Check it out. Order now. Got a coupon code? Yes, I do. ART25. Apply. And this is an insane discount. Minus 64 euros. Only 25 euros. Go and use it, my friends. It's for you. About 2 years ago, I took their DNA test, and it was surprisingly fast and easy. Back then, I remember having a few matches, but let's look where we stand now, 2 years later. 10 extended family and 18,647 distant relatives. That's a massive spider web going out if you look at the family tree. I want to see who these people are, and I can do that by clicking on DNA matches and seeing who I match the most with. For example, this person here has a 3.1% shared DNA. This one, the next one, has 2.9%. Okay, this is my 2 long lost relatives, and I have to use this opportunity. I'm going to write to them. I wrote to her in Estonian, and I asked if she knows my lost grandfather. But I have one more long lost relative, and I want to know the same thing from him. There we go. I have more family now. By the way, if I hover on the DNA here, I see Ancient Origins, and this new bundle I mentioned to you with my code ART25, this also gives you an access to this Ancient Origins tool. Let's see where I am anciently from. Explore and Bronze Age, and you can immediately see what I wanted to see, and it is true. I'm from Ukraine. Look at that, 48% from Ukrainian lands. This is where modern day Ukraine lies. I'm from there, from the Bronze Age. Things of course change. If we go to Iron Age, my ancestors travel and become Balto-Slavic. In the Roman era, I'm even more Baltic. And this all consolidates in the Middle Ages. Of course, a little bit Germanic also. Maybe that's where I get my height. I'm 6'4", or in the European language, I'm 194 centimeters. I mean, that's gotta be Germanic, right? And here, my friends, you can see my ethnicity estimate. As you can see, I'm 7.9% Scandinavian, almost 8% Scandinavian, Viking, yeah. Also 27.1% Finnish. Perkele. Also, 65% Baltic. That was to be expected. By the way, my heritage has committed in its privacy policy to never sell or license genetic data. Security first. There's really no reason to pass up on this amazing bundle and settle just for a DNA kit. My heritage link is in the description below. Thank you for sponsoring today's video. Now, my friends, let's travel to Mariupol, the city that Russians infamously bombed. There was almost no buildings left intact, and the Mariupol graveyard expanded so much that you could see it from space. Yes, there is a series of satellite imagery showing the new sectors of the Mariupol graveyard, which expanded massively. We're talking tens of thousands. And they are civilians. So we got this video, Mariupol 2025, and Russians are bragging that they rebuilt the Mariupol theater building and put up the Christmas tree. What Christmas vibes, right? But this is what the Russian propaganda does. If you're a Russian watching this from St. Petersburg or Moscow, you see, oh look, we liberated, this is Ruski Mir, everything good, right? No, they really pick their angles. First of all, this Mariupol theater building, this very same building right here. In 2022, there was a massive letter written in front of the building on the parking lot. Massive. Said Deti, meaning children. Because in Mariupol theater, in the basement, when they were bombarding Mariupol, children and women went to the basement of this theater. We're talking hundreds of them. And Russians leveled that theater. And there were rumors that after that they immediately started to rebuild it after they occupied Mariupol, but they never got out the bodies. They filled up the basement with concrete. That's what the rumors say. So this theater is rebuilt literally on dead women and children, and their bodies, their bones. It's gonna be haunted as hell, and it's so bad. Now here is a video of them actually rebuilding it. Look at that, how it looks outside now, but I don't know if these construction workers know what's in the basement. You might ask what's in the box many times, but you don't want to ask what's in the basement of this building, because this is a war crime recorded in history forever. And I want to show you a few instances how this Russian propaganda works. If you film something, you pick the right angles. I mean, you can almost pass Mariupol like it's never been bombed. But here, for example, you can see they are filming a propaganda video for Moscow residents, for St. Petersburg, for Russians to see that Mariupol is fine. But look, the surrounding areas, it's bombed to oblivion by the Russians, and they have this little filming stunt and some umbrellas, and they are having fun here. This is what it actually looks like 1 year after occupation in the winter. Look at that. So yeah, they have rebuilt one theater building on bones of Ukrainian women and children. Now this is a photo from not Mariupol but Avdiivka. Again, you cannot even propaganda this stuff away. I mean, whichever angle you pick here, it still looks bad. They had this kebab station installed in front of destroyed Panelka. I mean, obvious, like there are still civilian bodies inside this Panelka, and they're serving kebab right outside of it. This is Russian world in its finest. This is what it is. There's nothing more to Russia. If you're in the West, always wondering, oh, St. Petersburg and Moscow subway station look so good. Well, my friends, look at these photos. This is what it's actually about. And these war crimes I just mentioned, bombing of Mariupol, children and women in the basement of the theater building, well, next to it, the biggest war crime Russians committed in Ukraine was Bucha. Everybody knows about it, everybody heard about it. I went to that area many times, one time even with my wife. We went to Ukraine, we visited Bucha. The photos there, you see them, you hear those stories, it will never leave you. Who did it? Well, the 76th VDV Division, the Desantnik Division, Russian Army, 76th. We know this because they bragged about it, they posted photos online, they occupied Bucha. And until now, and even I think decades into the future, Ukrainian intelligence will hunt those fighters down. Not only the officers, but down to the very lowest private, the soldiers. They will hunt them down. It has been happening for 3 years successfully, and it's continuing to happen. For example, this just came out. In Kherson Oblast, occupied Kherson Oblast, this is a HUR operator, and in the This is the first car, but in the second car, which is a Lada Niva, a black one, there are 2 soldiers who belonged to the 76th VDV who were in Bucha. Let's see what happens to this car. And this is how Hur operates. It's very similar to Mossad's after Second World War, after the Holocaust. Every last soldier from 76th who was in Bucha will get their destiny. Nobody is safe, nobody can escape it. Bada boom. Justice delivered. And this is how it has been for 3 years. And this is how it will be for decades. There will be nobody alive from that unit. There will be nobody alive who is responsible for bombing the Mariupol theater. Those officers putting in the coordinates for the missiles that landed there, those officers have been named. Their families are known. They will be hunted for the rest of their lives. They cannot get away. Now, on another topic, we have a specific instance of a newcomer in the Russian army, a young kid forgetting his gun in the smoke area, and this is the reaction to it. I want to discuss a little bit about you because I know a lot of you are war veterans, whichever war it is, be it Vietnam, if you're a truly veteran, be it Afghanistan, Iraq or something else. I think this is the part every infantryman and everyone in any kind of military service can understand. This is the Russian one, but I gotta say before we watch, I think he got off easy, honestly. Where's your gun? I left it in the smoking room. What's this then? Are you taking a piss or what? So this young kid went to smoke and left his gun there. Forgot about it. Combat will also come and F you up. Do you understand or not? You should sleep. And jerk off with it. They said to nullify you. Nullify means pretty much to throw him in the basement or send him to meat assault. I'll never do it again. So these slaps are quite weak, as you can see, they do nothing. What are you gonna say, bro? How can someone lose a weapon like that? Take it seriously. Okay, yeah, he gets a little bit of like very weak slaps, and I guess that's the end of it. That's what it ends with. If you leave your gun in any military in the world, let's take Estonia, or let's take the United States, or let's take Russia or Ukraine, that's a serious crime in the military terms. Leaving your weapon, forgetting it, losing it somewhere, it's really bad. And in most militaries, I'm guessing the United States has a lot tougher reactions to it than this kid. Got here a little bruises, nothing else. I mean, this old guy hits really weak, as you can see. And I guess they forget about it tomorrow and he goes to the meat assault anyway. He was going there anyway. But please let me know, what does the United States, let's say Army, Marine Corps, Air Force, Navy, whichever veteran you are, if you lose your gun and somebody finds it, like smoking room for example, what's the repercussions to you? I'm guessing it's a lot harsher than this. I wanted to show you this to show that there is actually a massive lack of discipline in the Russian army, because I'm saying this is not a tough punishment for losing a gun. This is a very light punishment, but I guess this guy is already in a meat assault. There are many signs to it. Well, this old guy here doesn't have any teeth. Other old guy was squatting down with full heels. I mean, these are small signs. If you're taking these positions or you come from certain walks of life, if you come from these walks of life, no teeth and squatting down like that, you're part of some kind of social groups. If you're part of those social groups, you usually don't end up in designated forces. You end up in specific units that do specific tasks, usually meat assaults. So yeah, it doesn't matter if he left his gun or not, they're going on meat assault, they're gonna be dead within a week or a month. So yeah. No point in really punishing him that much anyway. The punishment is being in that unit. That is the punishment. But in the United States, Germany, whichever military we take, if you lose your gun, please let me know in the comments. I want to find out how they do it in your country. because this is in my eyes getting off very lightly. Now, my friends, again, pivoting a topic. This video is so jumpy, I know, but there's topics like this. It just happened, I cannot make this up. Fighter bomber. One of the biggest Russian aviation telegrams reports this to us. And I think if these accidents happen, does he think, the fighter bomber guy think, maybe I should not talk about it? But he did. Check this out. Yesterday, in one of the bomber aviation regiments, the ejection system activated on an aircraft that was in a shelter. And even if I don't read you anything else, if you know anything about fighters or bombers or both, and they're in the shelter, there's gonna be ceiling above, 3-4 meters above the cockpit, and there's 2 pilots inside, and the ejection system activates. So what happens if it activates in the shelter? The pilot and the navigator sustained injuries incompatible with life. They lost their lives, sacrificed their lives for the Ruski Mir, right? A state commission is working at the scene. So they were ejected, full speed, full explosion, ejected to the ceiling. There are 2 red dots, splashes in the ceiling of that specific hangar now. What kind of an accident is this? It's a very Russian accident. This is crazy. Training a pilot is expensive. They are usually quite high ranking. Pilots are majors or even higher sometimes. And they are like splashed onto the ceiling like that because of a failure of, I guess, maintenance or electrical failure, whatever it is that triggered the ejection system. This is a freak accident. But it's a very Russian one. And finally, I have to report to you, Russians have struck another dam in Ukraine. This time, the biggest water reservoir dam in Kharkiv Oblast. Previously, 23, it happened in Kherson. They destroyed the dam of Novogovka, and there were massive floodings, and tens of thousands of people and their residents were underwater. In this instance, in this video, you can see them striking the dam right here. This is the explosion where it happened. This is what it looked like after the explosion. A part of the bridge is destroyed. We don't know if they actually destroyed the dam. I don't think they did. It was an attempt to do that, but this one bomb was not enough. I guess they're testing it out, and they can destroy it in the future. Pechenich Dam roadway has now been suspended. A bridge in Stary Saltiv has been destroyed. Let's also see where what it looks like. I mean, this is the biggest water reservoir in all of Kharkiv Oblast. It's very close to Kharkiv, and this dam is holding back a lot of water. So if they would actually destroy the dam, not only the bridge, that would mean another Kherson style flooding that we saw in 2023. This is what the bridge looks like. The bridge is destroyed, but the dam does not look like to be destroyed. The potential of this kind of attack, the potential to harm civilians is endless. So yeah, let's hope honestly that they are not able to destroy this dam, because I don't know if I can mentally take another flooding. This is it for today, my friends. I hope this made your Monday. There's plenty of topics here that should have done so. I will be back for you definitely every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. So if you like my videos, press the subscribe button and be back. Until then, my friends, Slava Ukraini, and bye-bye. As I mentioned before, my friends, don't forget to sign up for my Heritage Bundle using my code ART25 for the same exact price. You're also getting a 30-day free trial, free shipping, and the Ancient Origins feature, plus so much more. Link in the description below.